trying to stay with Marco. Not only stay with the man, he trying to save him. I said, better save yourself. What the word going? I said, I was hoping. I had a little bit of hope, not too much though, cause look at his choices. But yeah, I had an ounce of hope that he was just saying that so he could get up out of there. Not only didn't he when he leave, he taking Marco with him. I was like, shoot, we'll see about that. But yeah, I said because it's foolish. Like I said yesterday, he trying to stay with Marco and save him. Pascal told Sidwell, like I knew he would. Sidwell said that he'd console Marco at Lucas' funeral. Tracy want to know what the shipments are coming in and going out. She want to audit. I said, guess Sidwell will try to handle her next. I said, well, he gonna have to handle all of them at this point. Chase told Nathan about a doggone warrant, and cool. Nathan gave the warrant to Michael or whatever, and Michael was like, "You can start here." He took his keys out of his pocket and gave it to Nathan. I said, "No." I said, "Wait a minute." I said, "You just gave him the doggone evidence, but it still don't make sense because why would he keep the evidence on his doggone keys? Why would he keep the evidence on his keys as a souvenir?" I said, "Make it make sense, Chase. Use your brain." I said, "He's so fucked up, it make no sense." I was like, "Yeah, Chase, you in Brooklyn, y'all gonna have issues. If not you in Brooklyn, you and Tracy." But yeah, where I stopped at. Oh, Tracy told Chase about himself. Sonny and Turner still at it. Laura wanted Alexis to fill Drew's congressional seat, and Sylvia wants Willow to do it. I said, well, she got the history of a Congress person. She definitely do. They committed all these doggone crimes and everything else. Might as well. Welcome back to another review. This is for General Hospital, January. I just keep saying January, girl. February the 17th, 2026. First things first, let me know your thoughts on this episode down below. What did y'all think of the episode? To me, it was okay. I'm ready for them to go and get Lucas at this point. Go get Lucas. Chase, I'm ready for him to see for himself that Willow did. I want to see how he reacts. Will he try to cover for her or what? They said that allegedly, what Willow chose to do in regards to the key is going to backfire on her. Now, I don't know. We'll see, because they seem to be dragging it. They over here trying to get her to be a Congress lady. Over here trying to get her to be a Congress lady. I said, wait a minute. One thing at a time now. Y'all supposed to be exposing her. Hold on. But yeah, who do we start with first? I guess Lucas and Carly. So he went to Carly. She just kept talking and stuff. She told me she want to get their families together. They family and Sewell and them family and everything. And he was like, he kept trying to interrupt her. He finally did. And he was like, she right. He didn't go into details, and he didn't tell her that Marco trying to go after Sonny. That Marco and his daddy trying to go after Sonny or anything. Well, he already know that anyway, but still. He ain't tell that part so much. I can't get into the details. You can't get in. You better tell somebody. Free. He just like Brick. That's so stupid. These people over here just murdering people and everything, and you over here want to keep it on the hush hush. Trying to keep it on the low. You better tell somebody. To myself, I can't go into the details right now. What? Hold on. But yeah, they was talking about that. She was like, tell me you're not staying with him. So I said, yeah, he's only doing it because his dad manipulated him. Because, we know what it's like for your mom to die and how you react. And that's how Sewell got him and stuff. I should have known. Should have known he was going to believe Marco foolishness. I was like, the fact that he wants to stay. He said, they ain't going to tell Carly. What he said? He said, Marco said after this, he's done. After what? Make it make sense. Wouldn't he want to be done now if you don't caught him in a lie? Wouldn't he want to be done now? And the fact that he don't want to be done now says a lot. This fool over here might as well stay with Brian. Might as well stay with his lying tail. If you just gonna get with another liar. But yeah, for real. I tossed a sentence to him. She said, cause a criminal. And then he was looking over there at Sonny, and she's like, point taken. I said, exactly. All y'all really criminals. I don't know if Lucas has done anything yet. If he did anything yet, but majority of the doggone characters done committed some type of crime. But yeah, so he said he gonna leave. She was like, tell me you not going back to Windermere or whatever. Yeah, it sounded like to me he is. Somebody, when he leave, he take Marco with him. He gonna make sure Marco. What they be thinking? Who they be thinking they is when they be saying that these people murdering people? And you think you finna do something with these folks? Every time they say something like that, I be like, what? What is you gonna do, Lucas? What is you gonna do? Then Pascal gonna go snitch it too. Next we got Tracy. Pascal said, well, first I think I was asking her if she wanted something to drink. I said, don't you drink nothing from these folks? I said, don't you drink nothing? Hold on. Now, when Sewell was texting somebody, I know, Tracy, you might be in trouble, but no, I'm assuming he just told Pascal to come get her. But Tracy met with Sewell saying that Maxie woke up. He over here, he's so dramatic. He's so dramatic. He over here acting like he excited and that's good news or whatever. Like he ain't the one who put her in the doggone coma in the first place. And I'm waiting on them to figure that out too. But yeah, he over here acting out. He talking about, so when I was watching and that happened and she collapsed, I was shocked. What you said? Is that what you said? I was shocked. I said, you liar. You the one who did it. You definitely the one who did it. But yeah, so she was like, now that she's back, Macy eager to get back to work, and she gonna need a full audit of the shipments that coming in, the shipments that's coming in, and the shipments that's going out. And his response let you know that he was up to no good, or he's up to no good. He's like, why? Why do we need all of that and all this other stuff? I said, yeah, Tracy, y'all should have never did it. And I had forgot, y'all. After the situation with Maxie happened, he had a meeting with the ladies of deception, and what did he say? I think they wanted Felicia to act on Maxie's behalf or something. What did he want? Did he want more shares or something in the company? But he basically told Tracy that to mind her business, and if they got a problem, they can discuss it with him and stuff. And he not going nowhere. He said that he not going nowhere. I was like, yep, y'all done messed up. Y'all definitely done messed up. What else? Pascal came in after he escorted Tracy out and said that he caught Lucas eavesdropping or whatever. He don't know what he heard, but he assuming that he heard a lot. And Silva was like, Marco didn't tell me anything about the conversation. And so Pascal was like, how do you know that he's even going to say anything? Because Lucas has him wrapped around his finger or whatever. He was like, I know how you feel about Lucas or whatever. I said, right, we all know that. We all know that. And he was like, Marco was already hesitant to join your team and your business or whatever. Basically Lucas would influence him not to be a part of it anymore. And he was like, well, if that happens, if he convinces him to move and leave, well, first he said that Marco knows that he has to stay at Windermere to monitor Britt and make sure she's doing what she's supposed to do. If Lucas manages to convince him to leave Windermere, well, I just console my son at Lucas's funeral. And I was like, and this fool is finna go back. This fool is finna go back. But yeah, not Lucas. Carly tried to get the information out of Lucas. He ain't tell nothing. I said, not you trying to protect him. Somebody said, I don't want him to go to jail. You don't talk all this. They be steady talking all this noise about Sonny doing this and Sonny doing that. But then they be over here doing their own little criminal activities and stuff. Rick and Sonny. Rick over here trying to convince Sonny to let him pick up Diane slack and stuff while she down or whatever. Take over some cake. I said, don't you? I said, y'all can hang out or whatever. I wouldn't hang out with them if we're being honest. Because once somebody really cross you like that and try to put you in jail and whatever else he done did to the man, I said, you don't supposed to just up and trust them like that. Look where going on. Trying to get his cases and stuff. Then Turner came and they just going back and forth. And Rick just looking at them. And he wanted to know what they had going on. She was saying that they said that Rock doing good with his community service and everything. And Rick was just staring at them, and he was like, he can't figure out who playing who. He said he don't know. He wanted to know if Sonny was interested in her as a woman or what. And I said, I don't even think they know. Then Turner told Dante that she think that he should separate himself like her because they sending a innocent man to jail because she knows that Willow's the one who did it. I want to know how she gonna find out about that key. I said, I hope they don't drag it because it's done been drugged enough. It's done been drugged enough. But yeah, but yeah, he just sitting there watching them and stuff. That's all they had with them. It was something else about them. What else was it about them? I can't remember what else it was. Laura and Alexis. She came asking Alexis about Drew condition. They were saying that he ain't gonna be able to do this and that. I said he'll be up and walking by next week. They said that. Then next thing you know, these folks be up and walking. But yeah, question. So they started talking about how Drew's seat is gonna be empty. I need somebody to fill it or whatever. So she wanted Alexis to do it. At first, Alexis was hesitant, but she eventually agreed to do it. I said, she'll be a good fit too. Like I told you, it all do have a past like that, just like that, and not just a present. So I said Alexis or Willow would be good at this, but no. Like I said, at the end of that conversation, Alexis agreed. Elizabeth and Willow ends up giving her resignation letter to Elizabeth. Elizabeth just looked. But that don't be suspicious enough for me. Why is she quitting her job? Tell myself she gonna have time with the kids and all this other stuff. I said, what she was planning on doing? Making a run for it or what? Well, she did say she was gonna have Drew money and his connections or whatever. But yeah, they was just talking and she hugging her, checking on her, make sure she okay. She okay. The attempted murderer is okay. She's talking so she will need Drew to be in her presence. She trying to make sure he don't do nothing else he ain't got no business doing. I said, Drew gonna start talking and snitch on her. That's what it's gonna be, y'all. He gonna start talking and tell that she said this and that. But yeah, next we got Chase. Chase came. What was he looking for? I think he had to sign something about pay. And that's when he heard Molly and Nathan talking about Michael's interview reaching a dead end and stuff. I said, didn't they tell you mind your business? Nathan shouldn't listen to nothing he had to say. And I said, it's going to come at to bite him because if Wilder says something, they're going to be like, he the one try to frame him. He the one try to frame Michael. But Nathan did say, he was like, how do we even know when the key came into his possession? So I said, exactly, that don't make sense. You don't know when that key got on there. And why would he keep evidence? That don't make sense. I mean, some people ain't too bright, so I don't know. Some people would keep evidence. I ain't gonna tell no story. But yeah, they was talking about that, and Molly was saying she recusing herself or whatever she said. And Nathan was like, he's staying on the case because Chase came asking him about it, and Nathan was trying to tell him, you already done got in trouble before. Why you trying to ask me more questions about the case? He was like, it's something y'all overlooked. How did he get access? Maybe he got a copy of somebody's key. How you know about any of that? That's what they need to be asking. Because, first of all, the video of Willow disappeared. They was already looking at you about that. Now, if the Wiley tell them that you had Michael keys, they gonna make it seem like you did it. They gonna make it seem like you did it. But yeah, so Nathan ends up talking to Dante about it. So they end up getting a search warrant and everything. That's when Turner ends up saying they gonna be convicting an innocent man and stuff like that because she's the one who did it. She did. And Dante just looking. Him and Michael was talking. Michael wanted to know if he was going to avoid him forever. He's about something. It's best they keep their distance right now because, first of all, Michael lied, which didn't do him no favors, which is true. But he kept telling him he didn't do it, and he hoping that once all this is over, they see, especially him, that he didn't do it. I said, well, Sonny think he did it too, so. Sonny and Carla think that he did it, don't they? Jason the only one believe him. Jason probably the only one that do believe him, ain't it? But yeah, what else happened? I forgot to write down. We already talked about Sewell and Pascal, Michael, Tracy. Chase and Tracy. I think they're the last people we got to talk about. So after he don't sit up here, he's proud of himself. First he looking, he seen Michael in there by himself. So he took his tail in there. And Michael was saying they need to get along for the sake of the family and stuff like that. So Trace was like, okay, then you turn yourself in. He was like, he didn't do it or whatever. And so they was arguing about that. Trace came in and was telling Chase about himself that he's still on this about Michael being the one who shot Drew or whatever. Shouldn't it be enough that Willow charges was dropped? And they were talking about that. And she was like, if you're going to continue this, then you are part of the wrong family. And I said, he is, because he want to go back over. Take your tail back over there with her crazy stuff. But I hope she don't lose it on you. And I said, I thought this was going to go differently, but I don't know. They saying that it's supposed to, what Willow did is going to come back to bite her, so we'll see. I know the last thing is that we already talked about Nathan coming in saying that he got a warrant, gave it to Michael, and Tracy was against it, saying that he ain't going to do nothing. You ain't going to search nothing until his lawyer get here. And Michael was like, it's okay, or whatever. You can start here. So he got his keys, gave it to Nathan, and Chase back there. Look, I said, that's right, because why would he keep the evidence, fool? And he didn't do it anyway. Well, yeah, Tracy looked shocked too. I said, I don't think nobody but Jason believe him. I don't know. It might be somebody else. Jacinda don't count. She don't count. I think she did say she believed him, though. Well, didn't Christina say she believed him? He might have 3 people on his side. Everybody else, I don't think they believe him. Hold on. But yeah, the last thing was Sewell and Willow. I ain't right there. She was like, you wanted to see me? So he started talking to her about Drew. I heard you take care of Drew or whatever and all this other stuff. And he believes that Willow would be the perfect fit to fill Drew's seat. And I was like, he trying to use her just like he was using Drew to do his dirty work. I said, do y'all think he got some information on her too? He seemed to know more than everybody else. But it was something else. What else was I going to talk about? Let's see. Dante said they need to keep their distance. I probably didn't write it down. But it was something else. Let's see. I think it's gone. Chase wanted Michael to turn himself in. Tracy said, isn't it enough that Willow was acquitted? I don't see it, y'all, but that's it. That's all. Let me know your thoughts on this episode down below. Stay tuned for the next review. Until next time, deuces. Have a great rest of the day and be safe.